The moon was full that night, and the hills around my little emerald cottage glowed as if they were keeping a secret. Moonlight spilled through the windows, silver and soft, and the house was quiet in that living, breathing way that only happens when everything is finally settled. And that's my favorite kind of night, my favorite kind of full moon night, and this one was extra special because it was a full snow moon over imbolc. And so I moved slowly, reverently through the rooms of our little old country cottage, cleaning not just to tidy, but to clear, to cleanse, because I love our little old home. She's 106 years old this year, and she needs a lot of work, but then again, so do I, y'all, so we're a perfect match. It may be small and full of kids and critters, and it's happy and humble around here, y'all, and creaky and leaky, but she sure is sturdy, and she's safe, and she fits like my favorite old leather shoes, worn in perfectly, our little matchbox of a forever home. And so I smiled as I lit incense and felt the cold vapor of wood floors beneath my feet, and I let the smoke curl into every corner and nook and cranny like a dragon that had held the weight of the week for me. And I opened the kitchen window, but it kept falling back down, so I propped it open with an old grape jelly jar so the cold night air could move freely through the house, just for a moment, making the space smell like ice and starlight and campfires half spent from nights just like mine all throughout these hills. There was no rush to it, because witchcraft like mine's never really meant to be rushed. Each small motion feels intentional, devotional, and magical in a way that honors the space that I live in and the woman that I've become inside it. And in case you've never seen my face or heard my voice before, welcome. I am so sorry. Where are my manners? I'm so happy you're here. My name is Bridget M. Finley, and I'm the witchy author. And I'm just this hillbilly hippie hearth witch in my 30s from good old Oklahoma. But I have been practicing my craft for a long time now. And I write a lot of books about it. So you can check those out on Amazon. They're titled things like Maeve of the Rowan Glen, about a 17th century hearth witch, or The Cottage Witchy Mama Guide, which you can see in this vlog. Because that's what I do. I write about witches and witchcraft. I write about ones like you and me, and the ones that came before us that escaped the gallows, the ones that they could not silence, they could not burn, the ones that would not sit down, the ones that paved the way for me to be able to live like I live now. So later I set the jars of water beneath the moonlight, simple glass, ordinary water, and yet nothing about it felt ordinary at all to me anymore. The moon never asked for perfection, only presence, and I whispered my intentions, and I whispered my thanks for another cycle completed, for lessons learned, for the quiet magic of still being here to witness it. And then I laid my crystals out for the moonlight to touch them fully. I went with some of my favorite fairy crystals this time, and I let them rest instead of forcing anything from them or into them. I've learned over the years that magic listens better when you're gentle, or at least mine does, when I allow it to exist instead of demanding for it to. And then by the quiet flicker of the whispering candlelight, I sat at my little kitchen table and I wrote a letter to my mama Moon, and I asked her to help me continue to bloom, and I told her the truth. I thanked her about who I am and how far I've come. I thanked her about how intoxicating and liberating it feels to live this freely. Because this life, this one, it wasn't something that I'd grown up with either. It wasn't something that handed to me or to my 4 mothers or 4 sisters. It was something that was hard pressed for me to come by even nowadays. The witch hunts never ended. They just changed the stakes. I have been persecuted for my craft. I have lost friends. I've lost loved ones, jobs, opportunities. This did not come easily. I grew into this gentle woman through blood, sweat, and tears. I had to claw my way here until my fingernails popped off. And I grew into a woman who didn't hide her magic, who didn't water herself down, and didn't apologize for being deeply, visibly, unmistakably herself. A woman who chose to live a life where her truth wasn't tucked away, where the most important parts of herself sit right there on the kitchen table. And that woman is gentle now, and she is soft, because she gets to be. So of course when I stepped outside I was barefoot. My soul's as bare as my soul. Snow cold beneath my feet and the full moon overhead, watching like an old friend. My mama Moon in the sky, and she was smiling down on me, and I could feel it, y'all. She was smiling down on me and at my home and my land and my life. She was smiling at my family and my children there in our little old cottage, sleeping soundly. And she was smiling at me as I was standing there under her beams, and I was completely unbidden and unhidden and unabashedly myself. open in a way that was not brave or courageous because I did not even have to be. And there's something so enchanting about being fully seen by the moon and knowing that I didn't need to be anything else. This was simple magic, and it's powerful witchcraft. Not because it's elaborate, but because it's honest. Nights like this have a way of changing you. They remind you that a life transformed doesn't always begin with grand gestures. It begins with presence, with devotion, with choosing yourself again and again in a life that was not set up for you. The candles eventually burned low for me on that night. My precious little old cottage returned to its quiet rest. The moon kept watch a little longer before she disappeared between the clouds, and I went to sleep, knowing that this kind of magic, this kind of witchcraft, the kind that's woven into ordinary nights, has the power to reshape an entire life. I know it because I've seen it. I see it all around me, every day, and if you keep watching and if you keep following along, all are bound to see it around you too. And if you enjoyed this vlog, please give it a like and a share. It's really the only thing that matters. The magic's actually in y'all's hands. And I hope you know that. Because the magic really is in your hands. Thanks so much for watching today. I know that I'm sending y'all all the love and all the full moon blessings. Bye. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more. I'll see y'all here over on Amazon or over on TikTok at The Witchy Author. That's me. Although there are a lot of fake accounts out there. All right. Bye, y'all.